Hello, gang. I'm actually recording this for Wellness Wednesday morning because I'm not sure if we're going to have electricity. So I'm pre-recording. Actually, I'm going to pre-record Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Florida is now running into our second hurricane is about to hit again. And last time, a week ago, when we had that one, we lost power. So I'm going to make sure and do these. I'll put them up to my YouTube channel. So if I need to, if I don't have a computer and electricity, I'll be able to pull them from my YouTube channel and just put the YouTube link for you guys to see because I'm so excited about this week. It's such a bummer once again to potentially be without electricity, but whatever. And of course, all the other dangers that come with hurricane. But I'm so excited because, of course, you're already catching on that the theme is how do you measure progress? And today being Wellness Wednesday, I'm sorry, but there's a lot of great ways to measure if we're doing well in our nutrition pillar, least of which is what we're putting in our mouth, right? It does change our health, our wellness, right? So I'm so excited because we had an individual in our family here that kind of a new one. I've never featured him before, but I love his question. So I want to show you that quickly, and then I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some of the answers to what that looks like. Okay. Let's go on here. So it's Wellness Wednesday, you guys. Um, Theme, of course, how do you measure progress? I'd love for all of you to leave messages today. How do you measure your progress in your nutrition pillar? I mean, obviously, we can all say the scale. We stand on the scale. That'll give us one measure. But what are other ways that you measure that progress as well? And I want to share with you from our family here, Vic, excuse me, Vic. Um, I love this. First of all, Vic, congratulations, because he went on to share his success so far has been his waist went from a 62 down to 46. Whoa, Vic, that's incredible. And weight 375 down to 260. Vic, I'm telling you what, this is so inspirational. Your photo, your numbers, so proud of you, my friend. And Vic asked what I feel is a very profound question is right now he seems to be at a plateau and he's reaching out to all of us in the 55 plus family with ideas on how we break our plateaus. So I'm going to go ahead and share some thought process that I have that I give out often. But I'd love for all of the rest of you as well. Leave a comment. What are some things that you have found that help you when you hit that plateau? And there are many things, obviously, but I'm going to share a few things. So making sure that we don't do any mindless eating. We kind of plan what we're going to eat that day, at least minimally, a few hours in advance. So we're not a victim of, I'm so hungry right now, I'm just going to grab anything, right? So there's a planning phase. Drinking plenty of water really helps. Big difference. If you're one that want to do a test someday, you should eat the same food for 7 days. But on some of the days, drink a full amount of water that you know you should. See what the weight difference is every single day. I will guarantee you on the days that you consume more water, the next morning when you do your weigh-in, you'll be shocked. It's a test that you can prove to yourself. Another way, of course, for to break plateaus is to make sure you don't have any processed food. And of course, DDP wise, phase 3, you guys, check it out. It's on your app, it's in the website. Phase 3 is a level of eating that you shouldn't have to be too concerned about having plateaus. But so, and I want to talk about the word treat because I believe that's a word that's scary. A lot of people say, oh, I'm so bummed I cheated today on something. First of all, I call it a treat. I never call it a cheat. I think a cheat's a negative word. But it's a planned moment for me. It's not a number of days. It's a planned moment, right? Treat at the end of a meal, this is a rule I put in place for myself as I lost the 80 pounds, and I've kept to this rule. A treat is always at the end of a meal. I never allow myself to have any kind of treat in a separate time frame. So my stomach already has the healthy foods in it before I have that treat. Another thing with a treat for me is I never use it as a crutch after a bad day. So I choose when I'm going to have a treat. I know an event Scott and I are going to or an activity somewhere. I don't bring them in the house, by the way. I just don't. But when we're going to go somewhere, I can plan ahead of time. You know what? At that location, that housewife, she does amazing desserts. I'm going to have a little treat on that day. So I plan it. I don't have it as an emotional, oh my gosh, I had such a bad day. Let me have some sugar, right? Never do that. Another thing that I do with a treat is I never use it as an excuse to binge, right? So I planned I was going to have it. There's no reason for me to have something 2 hours later or the next day, have another one because I planned it. This is not an excuse for me to binge. And here's another thing as it relates to treats. Always ask if there is a healthier option to that. And I will say, so in Florida, a lot of times when people come, there's a bakery that does an incredible key lime pie. And I like to have that for all of our first time guests staying here. I'd like them to have a Florida key lime pie. But I will tell you, if I were to choose that as a treat, probably wouldn't be a big hurrah for me because it's not my thing, right? So instead, what I have done on a couple of occasions was shifted over to a key lime pie pudding. So a key lime pie pudding instead of key lime pie. So I got a taste of something, but I didn't jump and dive into that pie that really wasn't my thing anyway, right? So always ask yourself with a certain treat, do you want the full out treat, or is that possibly one that you could modify to something that's gluten-free, sugar-free, and still kind of have that same hurrah? It's just a question I run past myself. But I do want to give you 5 things, some main causes for plateaus that they show on the internet. 5 main causes that they say. First one is diminish your workout routine. So if you're going to a certain level, let's say you do 45 minutes a day in the green zone, right? And you decide to dial back and make that 30 minutes a day in the green zone, you've diminished your workout routine. You could potentially plateau. Second thing is eating more junk food. And that can be more mindless eating. For me, it was late night. Scott and I would always watch a movie and say, are you going to the kitchen? Would you get me something? Bring back something, right? So it was more mindless eating of junk food, right? And that, if you don't realize that's happening, gang, you can slip into a plateau, and it's all because of that little bit of extra wrong decisions you're making. Third thing they say is retaining water. And ironically, hydration is the answer to that problem. So if you really want to break away from that retention of water on you, that is one of the key things, right? Not to mention inflammation comes from wrong food choices, right? So fourth thing they say is eating over too many hours. That late at night thing I told you that Scott and I used to do, right? So if your plateau is happening, you might want to shorten the hours. This is the hour I'm going to have breakfast, but I tell you what, and lunch, whatever, and those snacks, but after supper, nothing more, right? So that can be a way you can shift your plateau. And the fifth thing that I found as a priority is prioritizing sleeping. And I know you guys, you don't think that that's a reason that you would plateau, but I challenge you, you guys, test some of these things out. Just shift one at a time and you test and you will see that these things so come to pass. So thank you, Vic, for putting up the question that you had, but also I celebrate your successes, my friend. And all the rest of us within here, please leave a comment today. What are some things that you have found that help shift you off when you're hitting a plateau spot? What are some of the things that you do? So love you tons. Like I said, I'm going to post this because I don't know that I'll have electricity on Wednesday morning. So I will bucket this and see what we can do. Love you tons. Thank you for all your prayers over all the areas that are suffering from these hurricanes. It's kind of a crazy season right now. Catch you later. Bye-bye.